Out, just I'd like to acknowledge. I know it's all out there, but Jim DK and his AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. I know he leads the NFL currently in all-purpose yards through 5 weeks. So really good for our football team. As I repeated the message to the team this morning, that those are things that come along with winning. You know, when you find a way to win, some of the individual accolades come along with it. So happy for Jim to get recognized for his performance so far. He's had a really good start to the season. As far as the Raiders go, another trip out west, another road game we got to go play, our third one in a row here. Excited about the challenge. They're a team that while record-wise doesn't look great, you can see exactly why they're in the spot they're in. They've had a tremendous amount of back-breaking turnovers that have put their defense in really tough spots. Teams have capitalized on that, but when you watch just the tape alone and you look at scheme and the players, there's a lot of good things happening there. They look like a Pete Carroll team on defense. All those traits are starting to show up. Offensively, we know Geno's a proven quarterback in this league, and when he gets hot, he's tough to deal with. They got some young players that are pretty talented, and I think it's going to be a hell of a road test for us. You know, another team on the road that we got to go play well. And I think the running back Ascension is starting to come on. You're starting to see his talent show up. We'll see what Brock Bowers' status is, but he's obviously a dynamic player. Max Crosby is probably one of the premier players in this league, so we have to have a good plan for him. It felt like he almost tried to win the Chicago game in the first half by himself. It was a remarkable performance. So he's somebody we got to be aware of, and he can certainly wreck the game. So got our hands full in a bunch of different spots, and got to go play really well on the road again and try to see if we can get ourselves 2 wins in a row.
You mentioned JT and the talent that he's shown. He's actually catching the ball out of the backfield. How impressive you've been with that, and how big of a test would that be for your linebackers and safeties?
Yeah, it's a big test for us. They've started to run the ball better and better, I think, every week that's gone on. You see him getting more comfortable with the NFL speed and style and how you have to run in this league. He gets his shoulder square and he makes those vertical cuts into the defense, and he's pretty hard to bring down. You know, he's a good back, so we got to be on it. We got to gang tackle. We got to wrap him up. We can't let him get going. It's all going to start by trying to get the line of scrimmage dented. So, but really good player. I mean, you see the talent. You see why he was picked where he was picked. He's going to be a really good player.
How's it looking for Latham?
Positive for him. We'll see how the week goes, but so far this week has sort of met the benchmarks necessary to keep pressing forward and hopefully get him some work at practice this week.
How's it only maybe done over the last couple of weeks filling in for him, and but knowing also JC help you if he can get back and play?
Yeah, JC's a huge help for us. Excited to have a chance to get him back, but Ole, I think, deserves a tip of the cap. You know, I think he's filled in well for us in particularly the last 2 games. He's been physical. He's been stout. He's done what we've needed him to do from his job perspective. Happy with that. Happy to have a guy that we can rely on, and he's done a nice job for us.
How do you feel like the safety rotation has worked? You know, putting Diggs in certain nickel packages and the dime, and him playing alongside and going with that package as opposed to just simply Roger as the nickel.
There's a lot of teams that do that. It's a big nickel package, you know, where we throw. We've thrown it. Hook's done some big nickel, and then X has done some big nickel, and those are some things that you do on kind of base downs. Allows us to use those guys, their size and their tackling ability on first and second down. So it's strategic. It's not something that you do all game long, but there's bits and pieces that you got to use in your sub packages. So yeah, I think we're just trying to use all of our able bodies and try to put guys in position to help us use everyone we have up on game day.
I feel like Jihad's come along and does it track for more opportunity. Maybe.
Yeah, he's certainly been a nice pickup. You know, he has. I love his demeanor. I love his attitude. I describe him as a glue guy. If you could, put kind of a name on him. He just got a way about him, and then he's produced on the field. I mean, he's played well, and the more guys produce, the more opportunities they get, and I'm sure he'll have some more opportunities to keep rushing the quarterback. He's done well, and I'm really happy we have him, and he's been a great addition for us on our defensive front.
I have asked you that Monday, so I apologize if that was repetitive.
I don't think you did. I don't think you did, actually.
I recall you saying glue guy.
Denard said
Maybe
Denard did, yeah.
On the instances where y'all have had trouble capitalizing on short fields offensively, have you seen a common thread of why that's been repeated?
Common thread. I mean, there's always. I think there's more common thread just in the ability to move the ball consistently. I don't know that it's necessarily a short field issue or a normal field issue. I think we're searching for more consistent play from top to bottom so we can keep moving the ball forward. I think we took some steps in the right direction, particularly in the second half of the Arizona game. We've had some drives that we've been able to move the ball, but we just need more. We were in much better down and distances against the Cardinals this past week, a little more manageable, stayed on schedule a little bit better, and looking for that to improve. That's probably the biggest issue for us when it comes to drives being stalled is spending way too much time in third and long. You know, those are really low percentage conversion downs. They've ended drives for us, and you get into the 3rd and 8+. It's just a lot harder to convert, and we haven't done a good enough job on third down in general. So that's where we're looking to improve. I think that'll allow us to have more opportunities to move the ball consistently. So staying manageable and then converting third downs is a huge emphasis for us.
I'm saying how much he wants to live in that 2-minute world, that hurry-up world. And then Nick Holtz yesterday, he talked about how that limits defenses as far as what they can do. Is there thoughts to kind of ramping that up a little bit more, not just in 2-minute situations, but running more tempo?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're one of the top handful team, maybe top 8, 9 teams in the league in terms of just on the ball tempo reps. Some of that's game situation. But it is something that we've done and we've continued to grow. It's stuff that we're always having in our package and we always have the ability to do. And, the more guys get used to doing it, the better we get at it, the more opportunities we'll have to continue using it. And it's been productive for us. I mean, we've had some pretty solid 2-minute drives over the course of the season. Cam does operate with some comfort in that. And I love no huddle football. I think it's great. I mean, I spent a lot of years doing it, some previous employment. So it's something that we're interested in that I think we have some ability to do well, and we've done quite a bit of it to start, and it's a pack we can keep exploring those packages, keep finding ways to use it.
From your perspective and observations, like what is it about Cam that allows him to excel in those situations?
I think it's hard to probably pin all that down to one or two things, but there is some core concept things that go into it. You know, it's things that we got a lot of reps on that we know well. There's something about tempo that does help kickstart the rhythm. You know, there's something about that. It's always been the case, I think. You know, there's teams are looking for some rhythm on offense or a spark. They try to jump the ball, and that can help. But I think there's a lot of things that make it just something maybe he's done quite a bit of in his college career over his stops. So those are all things that probably factor into it.
There's times that with Cam that he seems to throw balls throwing the fastball, so to speak, when he doesn't really need to. Was that something that you saw a lot on his college tape that was something that needed to be worked on, or is that something that's just kind of cropped up here lately? Because we didn't really see a lot of that at camp. It didn't seem like.
Yeah, there's probably a lot lengthier detailed dive that I could go in. Just for sake of time, I won't. But I think in general, a lot of things happen for quarterbacks when their feet don't match sometimes with what's asked of them in progression, and sometimes they try to speed up. And so sometimes what you see Cam do is he tries to speed up a read or a throw because he's got so much arm velocity and he's got so much body torque, if you will. The ball can come out of his hand really hot. And that generally is where those show up, is when he's trying to either speed himself up or catch back up, or he sees a window and he just tries to fit it in there. You see the pure velocity he can put on the ball. Those are things that make it hard to catch. You know, you want quarterbacks to throw catchable balls. There is a time and place for that style throw, and those are the things that we're just kind of continually working through. But there is some throws there that we can help and maybe make it easier for the receivers to catch.
Different city now and lots changed, but what goes through your mind, I guess, when you see the Raiders logo, considering your past and your dad's past?
Yeah, we got a lot of Raiders on our staff, a lot of guys that have spent a lot of time there. I've always, I was in high school and my dad was there. They had a lot of success over those years, and those were kind of my first. I was a fan. I was a fan of the team, and I was always excited to go. It was great environments to go play in when they were at the Coliseum in Oakland. Then I got a chance to go coach there for a year, and yeah, I have kind of fond memories, and that silver and black and those game days and some of the wins over the years when I was following along as a high school kid and spending time there. So yeah, great place, great memories for me overall. I had a chance to go work there as well, and then you got a lot of guys on our staff that spent a lot of years between Nick Holtz and Travis Smith and Tom Jones, and my dad's been there for a while, and I'm sure there's other guys, but we have some guys that have long histories there.
Does that make it a grudge match?
Generally not. No, there's the faces change, and there's a lot of things that are everywhere's different after a couple of years. So yeah, certainly want to go win. That's that part of it, but not for any. There's no personal reasons there. I want our team to go 1-0 this week.
When you meet with your captains on these mornings, what do you get from that conversation, and maybe what's the dynamic, the way that they're open with you and honest with you?
Yeah, it's really productive, I think, for all of us, both from my perspective, getting information, things I might need to know, things that I can try to help with, things that maybe they have, they'd like me to address in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's as simple as a schedule tweak, or hey, look, this is how the team's feeling today. It just helps me get a pulse from them on what the team is, and they actually have a lot of conversation amongst themselves, where I just sort of sit back and let them talk. I'll offer some thoughts on the theme for the week, or some messaging that I want to get ahead of and give to them, so they can carry that message as captains of the team. And they're really productive. It's just a chance for us to take 20 minutes on a Wednesday morning for the start of the week and check in, make sure we're doing the things we need to do. And but I think the coolest part to me is when I get to just sort of step back and hear them speak to each other about leadership, about where we are as a team, what we need to see from them. They've all really grown quite a bit too. It's been a fun process to see, and to hear them talk to each other, I think, is really the thing that I enjoy most about it, and it's productive. I'm glad we do it.
See that? All right, thank you. To see that pocket in the fourth quarter of good play from Ward, like how promising is that, and what does that tell you about what he could do in the future and grow into?
I think it shows that what he's capable of. Every game is always different. There's always different opportunities, and one fourth quarter performance doesn't guarantee another or anything like that. But to see him go out and perform, like I said the other day, be at your best when your best is required, that was really positive. That's a great step. That's a big moment, I think, for his development as a young player. And now the key is going to be to get it. How do we do that from the start of the game? How do we play with that sort of efficiency and that sort of precision from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, and see what we look like then. But really happy for what he's shown and grown with, and to see that moment, a big moment, with the deck stacked against you, to come through and play well at the end of the game was really encouraging step in the right direction.
Just a lot of easy stuff that I miss personally, especially me and the receiver corps as a unit. A lot of times just ball placement where I need to put the ball to make it a more catchable ball for them and a runner's ball for them. Put them on their chest, let them turn upfield and get some yak. So just continue to be accurate, and then all of us taking accountability and trying to get better every day.
What did you guys feel in those last? You went from those first 10 drives really not accomplishing a whole lot. The last 3, you guys were moving the ball with ease. What did you feel changed?
I just think we executed, honestly. From myself going to the right place with the ball to everybody on the offensive line doing their job, which they did the whole game, and the receiver room, us connecting on, our intermediate, our short game, and our deep shots. I think just everything just flourished on those drives, and we just got to have more drives like them.
What's the key to making it translate for 4 quarters instead of 1 quarter like it did Sunday?
Not having interceptions, fumbles, negative plays, that's the biggest thing. A lot of times throughout the season, we've always shot ourselves in the foot, and we didn't do that towards the end of the game, so we just got to build off that.
When you guys go to tempo, obviously, the defense can't sub out, so I would imagine it simplifies it for you a bit. Is that true?
It doesn't simplify it for me. It's just something that I've done my whole career at every stop. I lived by tempo. It's something that has got me to where I am. So it's just another way I know how to play football. So I think it just helps us as an offense.
And with that tempo, it creates a sense of urgency. Is that something that you experience as opposed to like the same calm player that you always are?
It does, especially from a defense standpoint. Them not really knowing, what we're in. Us trying to see if we can get the perfect play and a look if we can. Then it's just also something that I think we're real good at. Something that we're gonna get into more, as the season goes. But we also got to be productive out of it as well.
You said you'd live in it if you could, but that's not real football. How much more of it do you think there could be for it still to be real football?
Just after, whether it's a big play, or if in my mind, I would want to do it after a negative play. Flush it, get on the ball, let's go fast, see if we can steal one from the defense. But it's all about situational as well. If we're backed up, if we're past the 50 or not. So a lot goes into it.
When you watch the Raiders on film, and I guess Crosby especially?
Say that again?
What do you see when you watch the Raiders on film, and what are your thoughts maybe on Crosby, especially just how he disrupts games?
Powerful player. From getting off the snap each and every down, he's a disruptive. And he's somebody that, that you want to go against. He's one of the best defensive linemen out there, and it's going to be fun to go against him. Bro, what's wrong with you, dog?
I know you have confidence in your offensive line all the time, but how big were they in that fourth quarter the other day, just allowing you enough time to get those, push the ball down the field and get those big plays down the rhythm?
I think that was why we were able to win the game. Both sides of the ball, the O-line, D-line, those guys, they worked hard all week, and that's one of the hardest positions to play in the NFL. And those guys, they kept me clean for the entire part of the game, and I just think that's only just a start for those guys. Us finally, getting a chance to communicate at a high level. That was one of our first games, not really having no communication issues. And then I think just throughout the future, we're going to be able to play faster.
JC's back in the mix now. How much even better can that get?
That's going to be real good. Just from a athletic standpoint, he's just different. The way he moves, the way he takes care of his body. He's a great leader on his team. He's someone who's a standpoint offensive line. So we get a chance to get him back. He's going to be able to help us for sure.
When you and Callie talk about focusing on keeping your eyes where they need to be, and you also talk a lot about taking what the defense gives you. How often are those the same thing? Like, are your eyes where they need to be if you're taking what the defense gives you? How does that work together?
It works together really a lot of times, depending on whatever the play call is, or what type of situation it is. Then a lot of times it could be reactionary to where the ball should go, but sometimes in the game it don't happen like that. So really just got to be able to see and find it.
Does one come above the other? Is it more important to take what the defense gives you, or is it more important to keep your eyes where they're supposed to be?
No, I think it's more important to complete the football and move the chains. So I'll say both, honestly.
How important was it to get the tight ends involved too?
Say that again.
The tight end involvement on Sunday with Chig and Gunner, getting them involved offensively too.
Real, I would say, especially from I think I haven't gave them enough chances this year, which I did this past week, and they seen what they can do, especially after the run, getting us those yak yards. So we got a very talented group of tight ends, but we just got to continue to feed them, continue to get them more involved, and it's going to continue to help us.
Gunner has said that throw to him that you had the 19-yarder that set up the touchdown. He said that was something you saw Seattle do against the Cardinals. How does that process work for you, like where you see something and then you work to get it implemented into the game plan?
That's why I think the best thing about just myself and the offensive staff is that we really see the same stuff on the field, even in the film room. So a lot of stuff that I think they are already thinking as well. And then I just think it's just really me and Gunner just knowing what we're both good at, type of throws I'm good at making, and what type of routes he's good at running. His catch rate is ridiculous for his size, and so it is good to get him the ball, but we're gonna continue to do it.
Cam, one of the things you told us a couple of weeks ago was that you knew this thing would work because when you went back and watched the film, you'd see this guy was open, or if this had been done, this would have been a big play and things like that. Did you ever get frustrated with yourself or the process while the team was struggling as bad as it was?
Yeah, a lot too, because a lot of stuff is stuff that I can control from where the ball should go every play. Then also some of the reaction stuff in the pocket, I didn't need to do as much movements, especially early in the season. So I think it's just stuff I'm getting better at just day in, day out in every game I play. But it's something that, I got to get better at fast and, keep on being consistent at it.